Anthony Shackford. I want to welcome everybody here to the 2023 Osage Bowl Summit. I really appreciate everyone being here. This is the first time that we've had a grand event besides the opening ceremony of this very beautiful facility that we're very proud of it. Historically, we've had it in Tulsa, and this is the heart of the Osage, so we wanted to be here this year. We're very happy that it worked out that way. Very excited, a lot of great presenters here, people who come in from a lot of different states. Of course, we have a lot of folks over here, my brothers over here on the drum, and members of the council. It's just a good feeling today, and then it's something I think about a lot, when we talk about the summit, as you talk about, of course, it's the oil business, obviously, but you think about the history of it, and the history and the future is out there in the hallway. You can hear them out there, much newer voices and stuff out there, and we're very happy that they're here today. The Post-College School, which translates into our school, and a great place. All these kids most of them are probably more fluent than many people in this room, and that was our goal. Also, we wanted to have that specialized education, that teaching, and things like that, that propels them into the future. So again, we're happy that they're here. We're happy that the parents support the school. Again, it's from A to Z. Everything's really worked out. You know, whenever we started this journey to try to get this put together, oh my goodness, I made this thing was going to be turnkey. They've been doing it for 20 years. It should be easy. And then without Christy Redigal, Bill Lynn, and Lacey, and Lisa on our staff, it was just, they've done an impactful job. It's just been crazy. You know, and every now and then I'll throw a curveball at them and a wrench into things, you know, but it's really worked out fine. And I walked in the door today, I didn't know what to expect. I walked in there and I just seen the setting and everybody moving around and the energy and the excitement. I just thought, yeah, this is how it should be. So once again, thank everybody for being here. I wanted to call up Councilman Myron Redigal to start the prayer off today, because as Osage people, we feel like, you know, that's where we start. We're going to start with God today. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Shackelford. I'd like to acknowledge all the people, loss of our people. There's been some deaths in our members of our Osage people. I'd like to acknowledge them and bereavement. This is some are being buried today. Our people always told us that our elders over the years that when we were brought up, you always start out with a prayer, and you end with a prayer too. We'll do that today, and when we're through on Friday, we'll end up with a prayer too. You bear with me. Entonces wakanda ijinki de awe chiko mi nisa de okistama de wajaji de entonces wakanda zane we hoy wali de wakanda entonces wakanda mikshe de walk by de conseil la wakanda ijinki de Mandalita de mineral estate, Mandalita de Wajaji de Ditapi de Dia da Wajaji, with the other Wajaji de Wakandi Shinki de Homika de Wajaji, he Homika de Wajaji de Wakbane, Biji Wakbane de Wajaji de Wakandi Shinki. Thank you, Father, for a beautiful day, a beautiful season that you grant us, Father, the Tanta, as they call it, the fall season, getting ready for winter, Father. Thank you for all your blessings that you bestow upon us every day of our lives, Father. Thank you for our children, our grandchildren, even our great-grandchildren, Father. Thank you for all your blessings, Father, in this mineral estate that we uphold, Father, we defend, we preserve and defend, Father, for the sake of our shareholders, for the sake of our people, for the sake of all of our children, Father. Thank you for all you've given back to us, Father. Bless this summit, Father, that you bestowed upon us, Father, for our people. Bless all the people that will be speaking today, tomorrow, and Friday, Father. Bless all the producers, Father, that help us with our mineral estate and produce the oil for the benefit of our people, Father. Thank you again for all your great blessings, Father, and bless us each and every day in our health, Father, our travels, Father, our travels home, Father. Give us strength today. Ask all these things in Jesus' name. He's a great strengthener, Father. He strengthens us. Amen.
All right. Moving on down the agenda, again, with a lot we could be talking about, but I think you guys would much rather enjoy what we have planned for you this morning. Mary Ann, like to introduce Mr. Martin, he's the superintendent and the leader of our school. These are our beautiful future Osage is coming in here. We've got some things planned for us today, but it's going to be a surprise, and I think it's going to be very awesome. I've got the opportunity to see them perform many times, and so these kids are their hearts into it. And once again, any of these kids you ever want to talk to, they can speak Osage to, so we're moving forward with that. That's a blessing. Mark?
Good job. Thank you, Mr. Shackleton. And we'll get lined up here and sing a few songs for you. We're here to wake everybody up. We'll start with a prayer. This is a song, God loves the children. Now we have a song that needs a little music. This next one we're learning for our Christmas. Thought we'd share it with you. It's our first time to sing it in front of anybody. It's coming on. Wait, it's when you hear the music, it'll come on. Some of the words are, you're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You're really a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus. You're as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch. You're a bad banana, a dojanke bishi. That's a funny. You're a Dojanke Biji. You learned 2 words today. Learn how to say you're a bad banana. With a greasy black peel. You're a monster, Mr. Grinch. Your heart's an empty hole. Hold on, I got back to something. Thank you, everybody. We promised him donuts, so don't get them.
All right, kids, there's some donuts on that back wall over there, so just come around this way. There's sprinkles, there's chocolates, there's a lot of good things that can get you fired up and go back to school. There's about 10 dozen of them back here, should be about 3 apiece.
Is this low enough? Oh no, you can, it doesn't matter, you don't gotta do.
All righty. Osage prayer by ready to go by the kids. Great song, good way to start the day, I believe. So moving on down the agenda. It's like my house, I'm still have to handle business in the future, and they're making things crazy. So right now, I'm going to turn it over to Big Horse, Scott, you guys, for our singers to sing some songs for us today, and I believe it's a flag song and possibly a prayer song. And then the post 198, Osage veteran leads it here, is going to bring the colors in and handle things properly for us this morning. So, gentlemen. Everybody mind standing, please.
Hey!
Please be seated. Thank you. Singers, once again, and I'll be remiss if I didn't mention my sisters, Angela, Tavia, Allie. Those ladies, their voices, they take those songs to another level, and we're very appreciative of their heart and soul and their talents today. So thank you very much, sisters, for being here. Really appreciate it. Moving on down to the agenda, we're going to have Mr. Reddy will come back up again for some opening remarks. Our chairman, Mr. Waller, a little bit under the weather, so the assistant chair, second chair is going to kind of pinch it for him today, so Mr. Reddy.
Thank you, Councilman Chuck. Thank you, Wally. Dolly, want to Chairman Waller's got contacted COVID, and so has Councilman Rebar, and our hearts and prayers go out to them, and keep them in your thoughts and prayers. I'm the second, I'm hired ready to go on the second chair for the Osage Mineral Council, 2022 to 2026. I'll just read what Chairman Waller had written about the opening of the summit. Glad to see everyone here. Welcome, the Osage Mineral Council welcomes you to the Osage Oil and Gas Summit, November 29th, 30th, and December the 1st, 2023. the Osage Casino in Pawhuska, Oklahoma. This year's choice is oil and gas are here to stay. This might be a controversial statement at this point, at this period in time. However, it's been said that an Osage person laid his blanket on a creek and squeezed out a bottle of rainbow for a trader. And also that another Osage person showed a trader a crack in the ground, stuck some prairie grass in it, lit it, and never went out. Wakanda has provided us with many, many blessings. My folks always told me that. My mother told me that many, many years ago. This year we honor Producer of the Year, David Sell. He's a local resident, has been in the oil business for many, many years now. And I'm a personal friend of his, and even went out in the field with him several times, and to his wells and to his leases, and he's a real oil man, real oil man. Mr. Sell has been very active in the oil and gas development and production on the Osage Reservation for a half a century, ensuring great benefits to the Osage tribe and its shareholders. He's a native of Pawhuska, Oklahoma, and has been a lifelong true friend of ours, our shareholders, and also to the Osage Tribal Council, as well as the Osage Mineral Council. We appreciate David, all our leases, and our Osage shareholders. Appreciate it very much. Next on the agenda is introduction of Mr. Adam Trumbley, Superintendent of Osage Agency. He's come up here he's our new superintendent. He resided in Florida, but he moved up here, and very happy to have him. He wants to come up here and say a few words. We invited him to the Osage Mineral Council Summit. Mr. Adam Trumbley.
Thank you to the Mineral Council for inviting me, and I want to acknowledge them for putting on what appears to be a tremendous event. I'm excited to be here. I hope this is the first of many opportunities to speak in front of this group. I had a speech planned, but this morning kind of threw it by the wayside. If you guys want my accolades and awards, you can find them online. I'm excited to offer something a little bit more personal, and that was, standing in this building today. I remember being at the groundbreaking a little over, maybe back in June of 2021. And it was at a time like this when, we had lost a ton of Osages to COVID, and we've had a few that, as we've acknowledged today, have passed recently in the community. And it was a time when, I hadn't seen my parents, and my wife hadn't seen her parents in a few years because of COVID. They live in Florida, didn't want us to drive back, and I was, second guessing being out at the nation. I grew up in Florida, and I remember after the groundbreaking, kind of sitting there and listening to, just remembering it kind of simmering in the words of Chief Standing Bear and some of the other people that spoke that day about the ancestors coming before us and putting us where we need to be, and that we're kind of living in the echoes of our ancestors. And as I was sitting there kind of taking it in, 2 eagles circled overhead, and a common presence came over, and it was kind of that the universe was going to put me where I needed to be. And at that time, I never would have anticipated this is where it would be. At the time, I was an assistant attorney general for the nation, and was, deeply content with where I was at. But with COVID kind of hitting, and not seeing family, I decided to make a change, went back to Florida, and then the universe called, and this position sat here unfilled for a year, and I was extremely happy to get the opportunity to come before you. I look forward to working with all of you in the future. Hope that it's the beginning of a cooperative and productive future. So I thank you for the opportunity to be here. I look forward to getting you all more on a personal level in the future. And with that, I turn it back over.
I'll tell you what, it's a welcome sight seeing the fellow Osage sitting in that superintendent's chair, so we're very happy about that. So looking forward to better relationships, more positive outcomes, and it's just good shit. Thank you. Next on our agenda is Congressman John F. Baker. John is a member of the Osage Nation. John and I both hail from the Zonzoli district down in Colony. That's where my family's from, his family's from. John is a member of the Native American Church. John is knowledgeable Osage cultural traditions and witness I can talk about John all day. I think he's got some things he wants you to hear, so once again, please welcome Mr. John Baker.
Good morning, everybody. First, I'd like to say thank you to the Minerals Council and all the organizers for this event today. And it's always a great thing to see all our oil producers and all our oil people coming into town. We all know the history of our people and the oil industry here in the Osage Nation. I still call it the Osage Reservation. A lot of people call it the Osage. All the old timers. And on the program here, you got me down as a elder. I never thought I'd be considered one of the elders, but I guess I am. Because if you live long enough, you'll get that accolade. You know, they call you elders. And I'll tell you what, I guess I'm kind of proud to be one. When I think about the elders, I always think about my grandpa. They were well-known Osage family in home where I'm from. And so Mr. Bill Lynn called me and asked me if I wanted to be part of the program. And I said, well, sure, I'll be part of it. You know. I said, well, I don't know what you want me to talk about. I said, I'm not going to be ologist or the oil producer or anything like that. I said, but I can talk all day about the Osage Nation. I just come up here and tell some stories about what it's like to grow up around Osage country all my life. I was born in Tulsa. I grew up in Hominy. Did all my years of school in Hominy, Oklahoma. And just like everybody else around here that grew up in Osage Nation, Osage Reservation, you're proud of your home, like all the Hominy people. We're pretty special. And a lot of the old Quobook families are from Hominy, and also in the Gray Horse, Fairfax, and our capital here in Pulaski. So everybody's kind of proud of their own little place in our history of being here in Osage County. And I know everybody's got their own stories and family history that they're proud of. And I see some of the people here, some of the guests here today, may not know very much about growing up here in the Osage Reservation. But I think when I was thinking about what I was going to say today, I said, well, I'll just start talking about. I want to start out where historically the Osage people are well documented in the history of this country. Starting out with first European contact with the Osages over near present-day St. Louis. On the west side of the Mississippi River was one of the big Osage camps. And the state of Missouri, a lot of you may know some of the history of our people, we consider Missouri kind of our main ancient homeland. There's a lot of historians who will tell you we came from the Ohio Valley or even part up around that area, but all of us, you might call modern day Osages, we consider Missouri kind of our ancient lands. And we still do that today, we still do that. And you go to Missouri, I know a lot of y'all probably been to there. There's a lot of Osage names up there. There's Osage County up there, there's Osage River. And there's a lot of old names of locations up there of our people, Osage people. So we still have a footprint up in Missouri, which we always will. And there's also some caves up there. Some of y'all may know about some of the caverns up in Missouri, there's a lot of them. And we know that there's some of those Johns and cave Johns up there. So all these geologists and anthropologists have said that those are most likely made by the ancient Osage people. And I know a lot of you probably see around Osage, there's a basin that word Osage. So that's one of our names. Excuse me. Yeah, so that's one of our ancient names. Our real ancient name for our people is Neo-Kashkai. And that is translated into people or children of the middle waters. The middle waters are the waters, the rivers in central Missouri. That's our main, old, ancient, sacred places around here. And then few trees, many trees that were made with the Osage people. And I seen on the agenda that Ms. Terry Mason Moore is going to be going over some of those treaties tomorrow. So you'll be hearing about that. I just want to say that our people have had to persevere and adapt all through the years, even in the times of President Thomas Jefferson. He knew that he had to make friends and make peace with the Osage people before they could continue westward. Beginning with the Louisiana Purchase. I know a lot of y'all are educated here and have history. So I know you know that Lewis and Clark and their expedition going up into the west. At that time, west of the Mississippi River was kind of unknown territory. It was all Native American back then. And the Osage Nation, our Osage people, were the main tribe that lived in Missouri at that time. So Thomas Jefferson, who was president then, he was told by a lot of different trappers, explorers, that they had to make friends with the Osages if they wanted to continue the expansion westward. So that's what they did. They invited some of our chiefs to go to Washington, and a lot of our people had never seen a large city. You might call it, back in the old days, they would call it modern. But I guess it was in those times. Because our people were still pretty well living the old way, or old way lifestyle. And they had never seen that. So it was a big change for them, and they kind of seen what was going to come into being come to pass for our people. And we were going to have to persevere and adapt to the new life things that were coming. So our leaders, our old men, the old priests, the chiefs, and a lot of people don't know, we didn't just have one chief. We had many chiefs. We had two chiefs. We had what we call the war people, and Osage and Honka chiefs. And I'm from the Honka people. It was kind of the war people. The Honka people were kind of known for that. Our chief down there, Black Dog, Claremore, they were kind of known back in the old days as the war people. And we kind of also, part of our domain was northern Arkansas. We call it some of the Arkansas Osages. But if you ever look at some of those historical maps, you'll see the Osage territory we claim stretched from St. Louis all the way to Oklahoma City. And our people would travel all through that area, all the way up to Kansas City. There's old trails up there, we call it Black Dog Trail. It goes from St. Louis to Kansas City. can look this up, got all this history. My dad told me, my dad, Lloyd Maker, he said that there's been more documentation and paperwork on the Osage tribe than any other nation. And that's saying a lot. When you think about all the other tribes, Navajo, Sioux, Apaches, Cherokee, all the 5 civilized tribes. But all the nations, they all got, big histories. And they're proud of their histories, just like we are. But the reason our nation stands out is because we had this, all these treaties and documents dealing with the Osage people, and then come into modern times when we had this, we formed this railroad state, the 1906 Act. And we'll have other speakers who will be talking about that. But you've got to think about all the paperwork up there at the Osage Agency. Mr. Trump, he knows all that. We've had a lot of good superintendents, maybe some not so good, but most of them we've had to rely on. We had to rely on the federal government. Because our old chief, we knew that we had to, deal with the U.S. government all these years. We knew that way back in our ancient time when we first met with Lewis and Clark and all that Louisiana Purchase. But then coming forward, I talked to my old grandpa. His name was Ross Maker. He's one of the old four-bloods of Holland, him. My grandma, Marie Maker. Well, my grandpa, we all of us kids, we all thought him was the old guy. He thought elder than he was. But we had talked to him, and he said, what I couldn't hardly fathom was, he said that, I said, we're not the old ones. I just like, couldn't understand what he was saying, but he was saying that he believed, and he was born in 1881. So by statehood, and a lot of the time, he was already 25 years old and had a family, on his second wife and 7 kids. So we've seen a lot of that history. From when we moved down from Kansas and bought this reservation with our own money, fee simple land. He was born in 1881. He got down here in 1870. So he's seen all that history from being a young boy growing up in the 1800s, coming into the 1900s. He's seen statehood, allotment, and he even did some surveying on the Osage Preservation. Little things I found out about him. He was a translator too up in Washington when our leaders would go up there. He was one of the translators. And another little historical fact, there was a famous football team from Hominy called the Hominy Indians. Well, I found out later that he was the manager of that football team. He wasn't one of the players, but he had to deal with the management of it. So I thought that was something I didn't know about him. But yeah, my point was, he always told me that they believed his generation, that his great-grandfather, he said those were the old ones. So it just kind of amazed me when you think about it. That means that his great-grandfather was probably born maybe 1700. All those old people. And my great-grandfather, his name was Tahagahe. And that translates into deer horn maker, which he was a member of the deer clan. And that name translates into, like I said, Tahagahe, deer horn maker, and that's where we get our name maker from. A lot of people say, well, what that means? Well, it comes from when my grandfather and he brought all his family from Harmony up here to Pahuska, to the boarding schools. All the Osage families, all the little folk, they traveled from Harmony to the boarding schools. They had that government official, he was sitting there, had his table there, and he was documenting all these families. And had a translator sitting with him, and he said, okay, just bring that next family up. And the school official, government man, he said, okay, who's this guy? He said, this is old man Tahogahag. And he didn't speak English, he couldn't speak English. So they come up, and he had, all his little kids had 5 cents and $3, and now come walking up to this little, like these little ones that was up here this morning singing. They were about that age. So, the school official was writing all these names down. This translator, man said, the official go, okay, what's this mean? Well, it means deer horn maker, Hawkeye. That guy said, well, I guess there's only so much space to write in that little box. He said, okay, I'll tell you what, from now on, y'all name will be maker. So they just shortened that down, and that's how our name became makers. But we're proud of that name, and we're kind of well known around this area. We're all been landowners and had 5 people to do with it. So we're just kind of, our family was kind of proud of being Osage and being around this country and seeing everything that's happened here. This is our home now. We came down from Kansas to the Osage Reservation. When we moved down here, they said our people, we didn't have much. We were kind of poor, you might say. But what we had was our spirit and our will and our preservation and our way, and knowledge that we can adapt in any situation, which we've had to do many times through the years, even from the 1600s on up to now, today. That's one thing that my people always told me, as long as you can persevere and have respect, and that respect is a big thing for our elders, our old people. And so we try to teach that now, today, to all of the young ones, the children. They've got to learn that. As you all know, the news, there's a lot of turmoil in this our country, United States. And I think a lot of it is because of lack of respect. So we all need to be aware of that, and in your own way, all of y'all need to be sure to teach your children, men, children, that word respect. It's a big thing. You have to have that. Because you can't give respect until you give respect. We all know that. Through the years, our Osage people have had to adapt and change with modern times, and even in today's world, which we feel like all this now, we feel like we're in modern times right now. I guess the next thing is going to be the technology, and I don't know where it's going to go from here. Your guess is as good as mine. But my old grandpa, Ross Maker, he was born in 1881, so he's seen a lot of change, he and my grandma. They went from traveling in a wagon with a team of horses to cars, and even grandma riding on a 747 in her older days. So they seen a lot of change. So they're the ones that really had to adapt to the changes in the modern world, today's modern world. They seen all that change. If you think about it, from traveling from Hominy, it took 2 days to get to Pahusma. They camped up north of Winona. And then came on in every time they had to come and do business, like a payment day and all that. It was a big time. So they'd all get in their wagons and get all their best clothes, and then make their way up here to Pahusma. So that was a big thing for them. And even today, even like something as simple as driving to Tulsa, back in my time, that was a big deal. That was like an all-day trip. We get up early in the morning, get ready, and Mom would cook fried chicken and make sandwiches, and that's how we traveled. We didn't stop, drive through McDonald's or anything like that. We had to pack our own lunches. It was an all-day deal. We'd get the toss and then they go shopping. We might go see a movie. So times were simple back then, and our people, yeah, they were simple people, good, hearted, kind, simple people. And once that big oil scrubby hit, I guess some of them didn't get a little extravagant, Everybody wanted to have a car, just like today. Y'all want to have a nice car. Well, so did they. And they want to have nice things, just like anybody would. So we had to adapt, and everybody had their own allotment, their own ranches, and just like most of y'all here in this room, probably you still have all your allotment, and all these families, all these old Osage families, there's a lot of us here, the old families, Fairfax and Hominy. All our old people, they're proud people of our heritage and our culture and everything that the Osage people have and what we've learned and been taught by our elders. I wanted to say that being an elder now, which was really entitled me to come from a time where I got to see my old grandparents and aunts and uncles. They were mostly full-blood Osages. And I got to learn from them and learn some of the language as a little boy from my aunts. Even to this day, when I smell or have cantaloupe, I think about them because every morning they have cantaloupe. And when I smell that cantaloupe, it reminds me of them. I think that's when I started learning Osage words that would teach me around the breakfast table. And that's how I first started learning the Osage language from them. I was just a little boy, 5 or 6 years old. So, but they're the ones that really see all these big changes in the world and what's happened to our Osage people. But if you read a lot of the history, you'll find out that our people were wealthy, considered wealthy before the oil boom from our lands and the sale of our lands in Kansas. We had a reserve money in the U.S. Treasury, around $8 million after what was left over from when we bought. Well, we all think we bought our own land back when we bought Osage County, because this was already part of our original homelands. And then when the tribe, when we bought the Turner Ranch out here, then again, that's the second time we had to again buy our own land back again. We feel like the second time we had to buy our own land back. Which but we've had to come a long ways, our Osage people. And I feel fortunate that I got to see them old timers. There's a lot of history here. And a lot of you may know there's an old country western song called The Hills of Oklahoma. Anybody raise your hand if you heard that song? Y'all need to get up on the YouTube and finally hear that song. Because in that song, towards the end, it talks about the land of the great Osage. And Bob Wills, he's one of the, a lot of those country western singers sang that song. But his version is one of the most well known. And it's a really nice song, and it kind of tells about growing up on the reservation. But towards the end, it says right in there, the land of the great Osage. So a lot of times, I get lonesome for that song. I'll just play it just to hear that part. I love hearing it. Everybody here, we all know the history of Osage County, Osage Reservation. It's a big history. And growing up down in Hominy as a young boy, there was nothing but oil field activity going on back then. We seen trucks, tankers, rigs, drilling rigs, pulling units. It was all over every day. And there was a lot of oil companies running back then. And I was looking up some stuff. And I found a list here. And this list is from 1957. If you don't mind me going back that far. It says here, we, the undersigned oil operators in Osage County, Oklahoma, salute the Osage tribe of Indians and extend our congratulations to each member on their semi-centennial celebration. And there's the list of oil companies here. There's a big list here. I'm going to read some of them out. The main one back then was Phillips, Skelly, Marlin, Big Heart Pipeline, and Crude Oil Corporation. Okay, I'm going to read some of this list off, just to let you know just how big it was back in those days. Osage Mud Products Specialties, Appleton Oil Company, Atlanta Refining Company, Buffalo Oil Company, Continental Oil Company, Crawford Production Company, Cameron Oil Company, Gross Building Company, Keener Oil Company, Mohawk Petroleum Company, Moore Oil Company, Oak Leaf Building Company, Osage Mud Products, Osage Transportation Producers, the Sooner Pipe and Supply Company, Tulsa Crude Oil Purchasing Company. Anyway, that's just a little bit of this list here. That just tells you how big the oil production was back in those days. There's a lot of history here, just like I'm telling you. A lot of y'all know this history. There's a lot of it. But just as a young boy growing up here, I'm very proud of my heritage and being part of this, all this great Osage nation. All of us here, you're all part of this. Everybody in this room is part of all that history. Now you're part of it more. But I just want to say some of those things about what it was like growing up here in Osage County as a kid. My little town of Hominy, we kind of seen good times, and now we're kind of in hard times because of the oil industry. Like I said, we had all these oil companies here, and you could every day going through Hominy, you see all kinds of rigs, drilling rigs, and tanker trucks all the time. So back in my day, if you weren't a roughneck on a drilling rig or a pipeliner or a rancher, that's all there was. That's all there was in those days, unless you were, a merchant that had a store or something, a car dealership. But I just wanted to talk a little bit today about what it was like growing up in them old times. But I'm just kind of up what I had to say for now. And I think you're going to have more speakers coming tomorrow that's going to talk about the history and some of the treaties. But I just want to say that all them old timers, most of them's gone. I used to talk to some of them old oil men, and they had a really deep respect for all them old full-blood, Osages. And they had good things to say about all them old people. And they had a way about themselves that I just really can't explain it to you. They just had a way of carrying themselves, speaking, and just the way they were. They were a special type of people, the old timers. So I just want to say that much about them, and just thank you again for listening to me. And I could talk all day, maybe later on I'm going to talk about this long story, but right now I think that's just going to finish up. And one thing I always want to say, the old timers, they said, well, the real old timers said, well, they think back and said, well, there was a time when there was all them old full-bloods around here. he said it was good. It was good to be Osage in those days. And it still is good to be Osage today. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. A couple of things John touched on, John talked about, keep on referring to himself as the elder. I'm going to disagree with John, because I'm not that far behind him, so I'm not ready to claim that status. John, thank you, guys. Once again, thank everybody for being here. Mr. Jones is going to be at 10:15, so let's take about a 15-minute break, and we'll see you here in about 15 minutes. Thank you.